Hi, and welcome to Huskies from Home, a virtual way to get your campus news in this constantly changing landscape. I'm Sarah Smith, a communication major and a senior here at UW-Tacoma. You might not see as many faces of your fellow students or instructors this quarter, so we're bringing you conversations with members of the campus community to help you feel connected and stay informed. UW-Tacoma staff member Eric Wilson-Edge recently chatted with Bonnie Becker, the Associate Vice Chancellor for Student Success. Dr. Becker surveyed UW-Tacoma students about their thoughts on spring quarter and the shift to online learning. Let's listen in.
Thank you, Sarah. Yes, we're speaking with Dr. Bonnie Becker, who recently surveyed UW-Tacoma students, and she joins us now to talk about those findings. Bonnie, what were the biggest concerns a student had? Was it with online learning?
Yeah, so we sent a survey to all registered students in spring quarter. We got a great response. We got almost 1,000 responses so far in the less than a week that it's been released. Some of the top line findings are very few students who were registered were planning on leaving this quarter. Only 10 students we found were planning on leaving. But about 65% of students had concerns, deep concerns about spring quarter. And the top concern by far was about being an online learner, how to be successful in school in a fully remote environment.
And so are there ways that the university is working to address that, or are there resources for students?
Definitely. You can think of some of their concerns falling into two categories. There's some concerns about some of the technical skills, how to use Zoom, getting better at using Canvas, and our IT department has a chat and a range of different resources for helping with some of those technical issues. And then our Teaching and Learning Center is ready to go. There's remote opportunities for talking to tutors. We have a brand new program called the Peer Success Mentors, who will meet with you online to work on a range of study skills. I mean, really, to be a successful online learner is not that different from the skills that you need to be successful as an in-person learner. And so there's a group of students that are called Peer Success Mentors who are ready to work with students on things like time management, accountability, study skills. There is also a digital learning tutor specifically at certain hours of the TLC that you can make an appointment to see to get some advice and some support around online learning.
So is there one place where students can go to find this information, or is there a site built up with just a list of resources?
Yeah, the main COVID-19 UW-Tacoma page is the one that I've been recommending the most because that has been kept up to date and is more sort of centralized and has a list of all of these services. Our group as well, as a result of this survey, we have a group of student workers that are reaching out to students, either answering their questions, giving some encouragement, or mostly passing on resources. And we've been compiling lists of resources as well. And we're trying to share that with the campus level webpage. So probably the best thing to recommend is to go to the UW-Tacoma coronavirus page and look for the most up-to-date information. But students should really know that just about any service that was available to them in in-person classes, we're working really hard to make those available remotely. In addition to concerns about being a successful online learner, there are, of course, a lot of concerns about the extra financial and family obligations that people have. And so I want to remind students that we have an emergency aid system to help with unexpected expenses. And so always feel free to reach out to financial aid that can help with a range of different strategies, including scholarships and loans. So you're not alone here. We're working really hard to figure out how to deliver the same high level of support that we do in other quarters, but just remotely, physically separated.
Great. That is good information. Thank you.
Thanks for asking.
Thanks, Eric. Being on campus is a big part of the student experience. There's campus events, student groups, bumping into friends between classes, and that's all going to be different during COVID-19. I chatted with Steve from the Center for Student Involvement on how they're working to preserve your Husky experience from home. Steve, thanks for joining us today. How are
Thanks
you?
for having me. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good. I was hoping you could talk us through how on-campus resources are transitioning online this quarter.
So it's really going to depend on the resource. From our perspective with student involvement and keeping folks engaged, we're doing a lot of similar things to what folks might already be seeing with their classroom settings. So setting up Zoom opportunities for folks to connect, whether that's with an RSO or with an event-specific type experience that might be around bingo, it might be around trivia, but really the resources that we're going to offer through student involvement will actually look pretty similar to what folks might already be seeing with their academic transition online.
Okay. And then, so how do students go about finding what's online? Where do they find that info and get plugged in?
Yeah, probably the best source for our office, Center for Student Involvement, is going to be the Dog Den. So that is basically an online portal, sort of almost like another sort of social media, where most of our registered student organizations or our clubs have information about when they meet, the type of events they have coming up, what they stand for. So if folks are really interested in getting connected with those groups, Dog Den is going to be the best place to do it. That's also where our Student Activities Board, as well as our ASUWT, our student government, have information on that website as well. So really, that's probably the best place for streamlined information of how folks can be involved with their peers. Some other options do also include just our Center for Student Involvement website in general. Like, we'll keep a calendar of events on there, as well as some other information about resources. And then it also will include links to some of our social media, especially thinking about ASUWT and SAB. Finding their Instagram pages, especially, and as well as their Facebook pages, will really keep people up to date and connected with what those groups are doing.
Great. And then, are there any activities coming up for the month of April that you could tell us about?
Yeah, so I can speak specifically for Student Activities Board. Last Thursday, we kind of piloted virtual bingo, and that actually went super successfully. So had to iron out it was a learning experience, had to iron out some errors, but I think we're getting there. So SAB has been working hard the last week or so to come up with more specifics of what type of events they would like to do. And next week we'll have more announcements, hopefully, about what those specifics are. But it will include everything from trivia to a few more bingos probably. There's talks of doing like film discussions, Animal Crossing gatherings. I'm actually working on doing like cooking demonstrations that they've asked me to do. So I'll hopefully be releasing a video soon about how to make gourmet Twinkies. Like, we've got all sorts of things coming out of SAB.
Gourmet Twinkies? That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna cook the cake later tonight, so.
Oh, awesome. Well, that's awesome. I can't wait. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
UW-Tacoma Associate Professor Jane Compson studies mindfulness and techniques like meditation in her classes. So we thought we'd bring her on to talk about her research and some of the things that we can do to help ourselves during these difficult times. Hi, Jane. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
Hanging in there?
Yeah, hanging in there. The sun's back out today, so that always makes things a little better. So
that's nice, isn't it? I agree. It's really good. We're lucky it's happening in spring.
Yeah. So how are you taking care of yourself during all of this?
Well, I am making sure I try to do things that give me joy. So exercising as much as I can within reason, nothing too hardcore. Getting outside for socially distant walks, especially in nature, that really helps me to relax. I'm doing meditation fairly regularly, and I'm trying to focus on some the things I learned in positive psychology. So focusing on every day I write about 3 good things that happened, and that helps me to kind of orient my brain to positive things rather than getting too stuck in all the negativity buffet that's out there right now. So a little bit of a mixture, having social contact, even if I can't meet people, doing it through Zoom. Actually, I find that's really helpful. Not the same, but better than nothing. So just trying to remember those things. And also, I guess, having rest and allowing myself to take a rest. I think it's really easy to feel like you've got to be doing things all the time, and the world's on fire and we have to help and do what we can. But also you can just drive yourself into the ground doing that. So trying to remember that I'm only one person, there's only so much I can do, and trying to give myself permission to rest when I need to.
I wanted to ask you, you developed a mindfulness program for nurses, and they then taught it to their students. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's a program I'm developing as part of my research called the CARE. And CARE stands for Compassion, Awareness, Resilience and Empowerment. And it's a program that is designed to give people an introduction to self-care and compassion practices. So it's kind of a survey of different methods and techniques. So we look at compassion, we look at mindfulness. In the resilience section, we look at positive psychology, which is our brains have a natural tendency to seek out the negative. Right now, we don't have to do much seeking. It's right there in front of us. But there are little things we can do to kind of counteract that tendency. Like I mentioned before, thinking about 3 good things that happened in the last day, or even in the last hour, or even in the last 10 minutes. And what we know from the research is that process of scanning for the positive helps to train us away from our natural tendency, which is usually to scan for the negative. So you might have noticed, I don't know if you're the same as me, but if I've had a day at work and like 50 things have gone well, but one thing went badly, the only thing I remember is the thing that went badly. And that's related to an evolutionary kind of design of our brains to check that to try and keep us safe. So it's got like a logical basis for it. But in modern society, it doesn't always serve us very well. So retraining our brains through little exercises like the 3 good things or 3 things that we're grateful for just trains us, helps to develop pathways to build a more kind of positive orientation and spend less time hanging out in the negativity.
Yeah, and so what were the things that students responded to in these classes?
Really positive feedback for actually all of the aspects of them, but I think probably one that stood out was, and it kind of surprised me actually, is that students really enjoyed the meditation time in class. And when students signed up for this seminar, they didn't know what they were signing up for. They just knew it was an interdisciplinary arts and sciences seminar. They had no idea what the topic would be until the first day of class. And so I was slightly nervous about, well, I'm going to introduce them to the fact that they're going to spend like 15 minutes each class meditating, and they might not be into that at all. Of course, students could opt out if they wanted to. But that's why I was surprised, is that was the thing that they said, oh, that was so nice in the middle of a busy week to just have a bit of time to stop and relax. So something that really became clear to me from student feedback is that there's a real deficit of time for just stopping and resting and self-care. And for some people, that 15 minutes in class was the only time in the whole week they had the opportunity to do that. And they liked having that structure.
That's great. Well, now might be a good time for folks to take a little time and slow down and maybe find some resources for meditating. That'd be great.
Yeah, there are lots of resources out there, and I'll share them with you, links that you can pass on. But one really good app that I recommend and students enjoyed is an app called Insight Timer. And it's free. If you download that, and if you just go to when you're on the homepage, go to beginners, and there's all kinds of introductions to different kinds of meditation, different kinds of practices. And it could be all kinds of things like for stress or anxiety or sleep issues. And there's so many different guided meditations to choose from, anything from 2 minutes long to, I don't know, some that are like an hour. So there's something for everybody in there. I really recommend that one as a starting point. If you're finding it hard to carve out some time, this gives you a little bit of structure and guide you through it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I hope you all stay well, and thank you for doing this. It's really great to feel connected. And
Yeah,
yeah,
you too. Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, so we heard about some different ways events are going digital with student involvement, but there's so many other virtual events happening as well. Here's a list of events going on in the next week. Make sure you catch the Chancellor's virtual town hall and download a virtual Swiss background to be part of Grit City Think and Drink on Zoom. So you can have a cool Swiss background just like this. It's just like you're there. Reach out. Students, faculty, and staff can all send in their events that are going digital through a new online form. Check the link below. All right, thanks for watching this first episode. See you soon.